Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fan, man, that is currently tapping in, man. I see you in the chat. Shout out to all the iTrek members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet. If you haven't already, go and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and whatever you do, don't forget, this is all for entertainment purposes. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Somebody please explain to me how these coincidences were even possible. Like, this husband and wife had the same birthday, but she just recently gave birth to twins on their birthday. So now all four people in their family have the same birthday. This dude, Bill Morgan, won $750,000 in the lottery, and when the news asked him if they could run a story about it, they had him reenact scratching off the ticket, where he actually won $250,000 more dollars. This man was arrested and spent 17 years in prison for stealing a purse, and this is the man that actually did it. What are the odds that this reporter was going around asking people if they remember the 1967 FA Soccer Cup? And the very first person he asked turned out to be the goalie from that game. Back in 1895, there were only 2 cars in the entire state of Ohio, and they got into a crash with each other, which made it the first car crash in United States history. Well, these two twins were separated at birth, but when they were finally reunited as adults, they realized that they were both named James Allen, had adopted dogs named Toy, married a woman named Linda, remarried a woman named Betty, had jobs as sheriffs, drove Chevy cars, and named their first sons James Allen Jr.
You see that right there? That alone makes me believe that we do live in a matrix. Or God is just trying to be extremely funny. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you think, but that's wild.
I have a very fascinating theory as to what the pyramid actually was.
You know, people, they think of a power plant and they see huge chimneys, smokestacks. I describe it as an electron harvester. You don't create the electricity, you just release them.
You harvest it from a process.
You harvest it.
The process that you think they used in the Great Pyramid involved those shafts?
It involves a lot of things. It's not just one single thing, it's a system. It's a machine.
Okay, this is starting to get strange. So I just got off another call with Ethan Guo, and after spending 6 weeks detained in Antarctica, his charges have been dropped and he's being told he can leave. But despite this, he's saying that they still won't let him fly out. Here's what else he told me. While being stranded in Antarctica, his health has taken a turn. He's lost 20% of his body weight and is suffering from a swollen heart. He said the Chilean base in Antarctica has had to start rationing food because of failed supply runs. So for breakfast, he's being given 100 grams of bread with a teaspoon of butter. And for dinner, he said that they're having to share out about 1 kg of meat between dozens of people. But it gets even crazier, because just a few days ago, charges against him were dropped, and he's technically and legally allowed to leave. One of the main accusations against Ethan was that he landed in Chilean-governed Antarctica without authorization. But his defense argued and submitted evidence which included WhatsApp messages and audio files suggesting that Ethan's flight was in fact altered with the knowledge of DGAC officials, and that he was given specific permission to land at Tenant Marsh Airfield for safety reasons.
November 182 Whiskey Tango, cleared to land runway 29.
Clear land runway 29 to Tango.
We got you inside.
Roger, thank you, to Tango.
Ethan's defense claimed that he broke no rules and maintains he was innocent. Either way, the judge has now ultimately dropped the case after they came to an agreement that Ethan will now donate $30,000 to a children's cancer foundation and also be banned from Chilean territory for 3 years. Problem is, despite this, he's still stuck there. Everyone is. He said the DGAC don't want to take the risk of authorizing him to fly out because they believe that the weather is too dangerous and that he doesn't have enough fuel or the skill to make the flight. They literally hit bro with a skill issue. Now, Ethan disputes all of this. As of right now, Ethan remains stranded in Antarctica, but as things develop, I'll keep you guys updated.
I mean, if it's not a skill issue and it's not a money issue, I don't know what else it could be. That's pretty strange. But if you know something I don't, definitely drop it in the comments.
Siblings can grow up in the same house?
No siblings grow up in the same house. No siblings have the same parents. No siblings have the same family. No siblings have the same childhood. Why not? Number one, there's the birth order. Parents don't relate to the first child the way they relate to the second child. Then there's gender differences. I'm not talking about whether parents love the kids or not. I'm talking about what actually happens. The child doesn't experience the parents' love. The child experiences the way the parent shows up. Number two, the parents' relationship might be in a different phase with one child and another. Then, the parents might be in a different economic situation. The parents' lives might be different. Then, each child will evoke a different response from the parent. You have 2 daughters and a son. I have 2 sons and a daughter. It's not that I loved or we loved any one of them more than the other, but we responded to them differently. And there's one more factor, which is children are born with different temperaments, which is they experience the world differently. So even if I could be the same parent to all my kids, which I couldn't be, they still have 3 different parents because they would experience me different.
And you know what's the crazy part about that? Parents and kids can both attest to that. We all see the different roles performed differently by each and every person. So that's definitely an interesting look.
Someone walks slowly in front of you and you fantasize about violence. Your brain has 3 ancient programs causing this rage, and the third explains why this feels like life or death. First, movement, synchronization, disruption. Your brain automatically matches the pace around you. When someone forces you to walk slower, your nervous system interprets it as physical restraint. You're not impatient. Your motor cortex is literally being suppressed. It's neurological imprisonment. Second, blocked escape route. Your amygdala constantly scans for clear exits. Slow walkers trigger the same response as a blocked fire exit. Your brain thinks you're trapped. The rage isn't about being late. It's about perceived survival threat. Your body is preparing to fight for freedom. But here's the third thing. Resource competition instinct. For 200,000 years, being stuck behind someone meant they got the food, the water, or shelter first. Your brain interprets slow walkers as resource threats. They're defeating you in an imaginary race for survival. You want to push past them because your brain thinks they're stealing your future. Your sidewalk rage is actually ancient programming. You're not an asshole. You're running hunter-gatherer software in the shopping mall. What's your worst slow walker fantasy?
Now, I'm not sure I totally agree with what he's saying, although I do understand what he means, but if you've ever been in the middle of LA traffic around 5 p.m., there's definitely a low-level threat of violence in the air. And I'm sure it's like that in New York too, but definitely let me know what you think about
that
it.
In order for big cities to prevent unwanted behavior in public, they use something called hostile architecture. Basically, they take common things like park benches and add a bunch of armrests to make it impossible to lay down. And they never admit this, but it's primarily done to prevent homeless people from sleeping out in the public and makes life much harder for them. Each country does different things, like Russia, for example, locks up their benches at night. Meanwhile, in China, you have to deposit a quarter if you want to sit down so that these spikes won't stay up. Most of England uses these insane bench dividers. Subway stations in the United States use these standing seats. And in Ghana, they just throw rocks everywhere. And this explains why in countries like Japan, you almost never see homeless people, but in Mexico and some parts of the US, they are everywhere. To be fair, there are always certain homeless people who can manage to outsmart this type of architecture, and they usually just do it by placing a mattress on top of it and not really caring. The thing is, this type of design has always gotten a ton of backlash from the public, with many people calling it wasteful and inhumane, and many are saying that instead of spending the money building this type of hostile architecture, they should just do it to help the homeless population instead.
I mean, the tricky part about that is even if you were to designate an area strictly for homeless people, they want their freedom. They don't want to stick around in one place. Families want to take their kids to the park. Homeless people want to sleep in the park. What are you going to do? Is there a solution? I highly doubt it.
They say the demons get stirred up when you bring out the truth. Check this out.
You gotta repent, sir, for murdering babies.
Why?
Because it's a sin before God.
Why?
Wow.
Stinky breath.
Yeah,
Why?
that's pretty evil of you, sir.
Yeah, I am.
And I hope and pray that you...
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do to babies, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I hope that you come to Christ, sir.
Oh, I never go to Christ.
I hope that you come to Christ,
No,
sir.
I don't go to Christ.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Christ.
You will have a darkened heart, sir.
I do have a darkened heart. Yeah.
You have a darkened heart.
I do, very, very much
and
so.
And you will stand before God in judgment day.
Yes, I will. Every day.
You will stand before God in judgment day.
Yes, I will. Every day.
All of the babies that you have
love it.
killed.
I love it.
Yeah, keep tearing the babies apart.
Yeah, I will.
Keep tearing the babies
I
apart.
will.
Keep tearing the babies apart. Yeah, sir. The babies, their blood screams from the ground.
The Bible makes it very clear on what should happen to people like this.
What a creepster. Buddy was all the way possessed until it was time for him to go back and do his job. Nah, I don't like that.
The robber who returned the money back to the store because it wasn't enough to help his sick daughter. This is Richard Porter, and in 2019, he walked into a North Carolina smoke shop and immediately demanded all the cash in the register. But upon the cashier opening up the register and trying to hand him the money, he counted it and said it wasn't enough for his daughter's kidney transplant. Even the shop owner was stunned on what happened.
That was unbelievable. what happened, because he actually had the money in his hand and he refused to take it. He said that was not enough to pay for his daughter's kidney transplant.
When the video was posted online, it sparked outrage from millions of people, with comments saying, "It's sad we live in a world that people have to do stuff like this to save their own children, and there's nothing you could do to this man to make him suffer more than he already is." Richard wasn't caught for a good amount of time, until 2023, where police got a tip from someone anonymous that Richard was the one who did the robbery. But it was too late to arrest him at that point, since the statute of limitations for robbery is 2 years in North Carolina. As of today, Richard was never officially charged, and details on his daughter are unknown.
Soon as you made some money, that's when your phone started ringing. It's an energy. Money not really real, it's an energy. Soon as you make some money, people from out the woodworks go to calling you. And I noticed, I was like, whenever I'm doing something I'm supposed to do, that's when all the distractions come.
And money definitely is energy. I mean, when you don't have any, that's what they call having no motion.
Egg has a white yolk, and no, it's not fake. Yolk color comes from the hen's diet. Carotenoid-rich feed makes it yellow or orange, but when hens eat mostly white rice, like with Japan's Kametsuya eggs, the yolk can turn nearly white. Surprisingly, the taste and nutrition stay almost the same, though the look often confuses people. In some countries, pale yolks are seen as special, while others prefer deep golden ones.
Yeah, it's almost too late to start eating all white eggs. I mean, we've all been conditioned to eat the yellow yolk ones, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I might try it just to try it, but I don't think I'd keep doing it though.
You know, most of your life's pain will come from tolerating the wrong people for too long.
Message.
Sometimes it's right in front of my face daily, then randomly catches my attention. In the front and the back of this Studio 6, the pillars with the signs on them have it on 3 sides. Is it a coincidence, like all the others, or was there intention? I believe there was definitely intention behind making the logo look like a 76. Why? For starters, 7 and 6 is 13. Why even choose to call it Motel 6 or Studio 6? Maybe because 2 3s makes up a 6? Was there also intention to have the word El within the 6? Because in Hebrew, El means God or deity. In another video I talked about the term 6 God. Same false god associated with the 666. Is that a coincidence? Probably not. Considering this and symbolism in relation to it is on everything.
Just in case nobody's told you yet, if something is illegal and the only penalty is a fine, that's how much it costs to do that thing.
Supposedly taken in a quiet neighborhood in Chicago, a man hears some ruckus on his porch and walks over and sees this thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this thing looks real to me. You know, I don't know what it is, but the guy who covered this clip in one of his videos says that it was a head of a dog or something wolf-like, and I just can't quite get behind that. Honestly, if I'm really keeping it real, it looks like an ostrich. I mean, to me, it looks like it has a beak. Yeah, it's weird looking, and if it was at my back door, I'd be freaked out, but that leads me to my next point. If that was at my back door, I wouldn't whip out my phone. I don't know, the weird unblinking face. I will say this, and let me know if you noticed it, but look at this set of eyes off to the right. That's a little creepy. Unless that's the family dog, like in the background. Don't let him in. I don't know. Would be creepy if it was at my back door. Don't think it's real.
I mean, that's definitely not a dog. I mean, if it was, it's like a hybrid of a hybrid of a hybrid, if you know what I'm saying. But if you know something I don't, let me know down below.
He's a reptile, man. What do they call the reptile?
Bro. Hey, for real. We just spent the last 17 hours together.
You're a robot.
Nah, you can't say that.
What's up, buddy?
Nah, we're gonna address that after this call. We're not letting that slide.
He's a reptile, man.
Now, I'm sure that he was just joking around, right? Just kidding with a friend of his, right? Right? Huh? Or is there something more going on here? Because if you noticed, Mr. Beast kind of got a little bothered when Aiden Ross called him what he called him. Why would that be? I don't know what's going on here. I'm just sharing this clip. That's all that I am doing. It's there. You just got to listen. It's always in plain sight.
Hey, that's what was so funny to me, because you can clearly see Mr. Beast didn't like that. Like, he was upset. And to see him like that for the first time is kind of funny, you know, because he genuinely wanted Aiden just to stop, you know.
Most people have no soul. Gnosis and the Cassiopean transcripts both claim that 50% of the human population lack a soul and have no potential to develop one, as they do not possess the higher centers of consciousness required for spiritual growth. In The Stellar Man, John Baines argues that much of humanity operates without a true sense of individuality, acting more like programmed mindless extensions of a collective hive mind. The Corpus Hermeticum, a key Hermetic and Gnostic work, likewise claims that not all humans possess the divine spark that sets conscious beings apart from animals. Without it, a person lives by instinct alone, lacking inner depth or true self-awareness. Renowned clairvoyant Rudolf Steiner also spoke of rare cases where, due to what he called cosmic errors, a human body may be inhabited not by a genuine human soul, but by a lesser being or demon, normally not meant for incarnation. Diane Fortune, in Psychic Self-Defense, also corroborates this, interestingly stating that these soulless births are more likely to occur when the mother conceives under the influence of. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
This is the complete family tree of demons. You're going to be shocked when you see how many different types of evil spirits are mentioned in the Bible. But in order to understand where they came from, we need to start at the very beginning. Before God created the humans, he created the sons of God. These were divine beings who were made up of at least 3 different categories, like the Watchers mentioned in the book of Daniel. I personally believe that the Watchers are the key to understanding the origin of most of the demons in our family tree. But the category you're probably most familiar with are the angels, like Michael the Archangel. The term angel just means messenger, and they were tasked with delivering important information to mankind, like the angel Gabriel, who showed up at Mary's house to announce she was going to give birth to Jesus. But these creatures here, called the cherubim, are the key to understanding the origin of one evil spirit you've probably heard of before. Anytime these creatures are mentioned in the Bible, they are always surrounding God's throne and praising him, like the living creatures mentioned in the book of Revelation and Ezekiel. And these things look crazy.
Morbid Facts, Part 703. Once Hollywood's ultimate action hero, Bruce Willis is now trapped in a devastating real-life decline. In 2022, he was diagnosed with aphasia, a disorder that stripped him of the ability to understand or speak language. And by 2023, his family revealed that it was the early stage of frontal-temporal dementia, a rare and brutal brain disease that erodes memory, personality, and communication until the patient no longer recognizes their loved ones. On film sets before his retirement, Willis was already struggling. He needed lines fed through an earpiece, often forgot entire scenes, and at times fired prop guns without warning, all while being pushed into low-budget cameos that cashed in on his fading star power. Now at just 69, the man who once embodied invincibility in Die Hard is slowly being undone by his own brain, unable to even grasp that he was once one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, while his family prepares for the cruel reality of watching one of the most charismatic voices in cinema fall silent forever.
These voices hit everybody. They don't just hit schizophrenics. You might be walking down the sidewalk and you get this horrible thought, spit on the guy in front of you, or knock this guy out of the way, or you're standing on the bridge and you get a thought that, I wonder what it'd be like to jump over. They hit us all.
I'm glad you said that.
This voice you hear in your head, ask yourself, who's listening to that voice?
It would just be you, no?
That would be the real you. What you're hearing, that diatribe you hear running through your head, isn't you. You're the one who's listening to it. All this other stuff is coming in from other spiritual places, either negative places or positive places. It's like a radio. You're picking up a certain frequency of thought. Schizophrenics have a very low frequency. Very religious, spiritual people have a much higher frequency. Like you said, your mind is like a radio. It picks up the frequency you're tuned to.
Now, I definitely believe that, but I think you have to practice tuning into that frequency that serves you best. Now, any of those negative frequencies that are telling you to do things that are going to land you in jail, harm somebody, those aren't going to serve you. In fact, they're going to do the complete opposite. So yeah, very interesting clip. Let me know what you think.
May 6th in 2019, a family went to explore an abandoned gold mine in the Nevada desert. And while this was meant to be just a fun time with the family, they ended up discovering something inside the cave that was deeply unsettling to them. When the family initially entered the cave, they remained silent as to not cause an accidental cave-in, but as they continued to explore, they looked deep into the cave and realized that there was something reflecting back at them. When they went to go see what it was, check out what they found.
So, do you see that reflection? They're trying to... Check it out.
Oh, Jesus, look. It's shoe. Look, it's not like a fossil. Or human.
The family ran across a group of shoes and bones, and theories began to circulate immediately as to why they were there. While some theorized that it could have been a serial trophy collection, others believed that it could have been a nest for a predator like a mountain lion or cougar. At the end of the day, we don't know for sure, but let me know what you think.
Oh my god, right. Me and Am got on the train to come home, and oh my god, what is that on my eyelash hanging off?
An FBI consultant on the picture telling me that they can use your ADT security box microphone to get your stuff that's going on in your house, or OnStar, they could shut your car down. And he told me that 1 in 5 phone calls that you make are recorded and logged. And I laughed at him, and then he played back a phone conversation I'd had 2 years prior to joining the picture. The FBI consultant. And it was like one of those phone calls, it was like, you know, what are you wearing type of things. Really? Yeah, so it was mad weird.
Hey, super creepy, but I definitely believe it. I think that's why Edward Snowden is on the run, right? He tried to warn us.
This video shows a man standing in a shop holding a cat. All seems normal until this happens. Take a look. As he is holding the cat, we suddenly see one of his fingers bend right back. He drops the cat and is clearly in a lot of pain as he grabs hold of his hand. Does this show violent ghostly activity, or is there another explanation? What do you think?
There seemed to be a lot of intention behind it. If it was a ghost, that cat must have belonged to that ghost in a past life or something like that. Somebody wanted that guy to be in pain.
That's why you hear rock stars sometimes say, I sold my soul to the devil. Because once you make that trade, he'll give you what you want. But people need to understand that the devil is not sharing his kingdom with anyone. He's selfish and hateful, and his personality is that of hate and violence.
Hey, she told the whole truth and nothing but the truth, man. Were you paying attention?
Eating M&Ms right now, roll that shit up and throw it away. Did you know that 9 out of the 10 ingredients used to color the M&Ms are actually banned in Europe and the UK, but seem to be okay for our food supply? But Mars, the makers of M&Ms, somehow figures out that they're able to use safer ingredients in the EU and UK than they can in the US.
You have got to be effing kidding me. That guy was my dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Craig.
You just don't see stories like this. Maybe in a Hollywood bad script.
45-year-old James Craig is accused of putting arsenic and cyanide in her protein shakes.
He's allegedly ordering potassium cyanide and arsenic online. You have got to be kidding me.
See, that's when you lost your mind. When divorce is no longer an option and you rather just take a life, it's pretty scary.
If the universe is a simulation and it's a really good simulation, there may not be any way to tell that at all. I mean, some people talk about, a glitch. A glitch in the matrix would be the signature. But look, if it's a really good simulation, a powerful computer, it could undo the memories of any simulated being to remove recognition that glitch ever happened. So in principle, there is a possibility that we're in a simulation and it's absolutely impossible to ever know that. So what do you do about it? Live your life, allow that possibility, acknowledge it, and then move on.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense because I'm on that type of time. I might acknowledge a lot of things internally, but not even waste time or energy on it externally, right? It's pretty interesting.
How do you deal with a narcissist? You handle a narcissist by one, understanding what you're in. You're in a game, and it's a game that I call praise or provoke. Meaning if you're not showering this person with praise, if they're not the best thing you've ever seen or ever heard, everything they do is touched with gold, then they will turn to provoke you and create an argument with you out of nothing, just to have that same sense of control. But the thing is, It's a game that's rigged. If you could just fix them, make them see how what they did hurt you, affected you, but they can't. The game is rigged. So what you do is you just don't play it. What I want you to do is to use neutral statements. Statements that they can't do anything with. Statements like, noted, good to know, thank you, that's interesting. Things that they can't really do anything with. They can't make anything out of it. People who have narcissistic tendencies love for you to say things that they can take and go with. Like if you were to say, well, I think that's kind of rude. And they're like, oh, rude? You want to talk about rude? And they start taking it. You know, like you can't give them anything to grab onto and climb with.
Hey, he was definitely sprinkling some gems.
Bobby, is that you? Bobby. I get it. I get it, man. You're just gonna stare at each other for like, what? You got me. I don't know what the their problem is. I'm gonna keep doing this shit. I'm just gonna stare at him then. Fuck it, right? Man. Come on, get in the house, man. Get in the house. Come on. Go. Go. Right, just go to your room. It's fine. Thing, of course. All right. Yeah. I know, Disney. You got me. Jim, you got me. You got me, man. You got... Okay, it's good. Now just stay in your room. What do you want?
When do you think he'll realize that wasn't Bobby? Hopefully soon.
They are getting ready to release these to the public, and they're trying to show you, yes, it can do simple tasks, just like doing laundry.
Now every robot like it can too. Filmed in the home of Figure CEO, this robot spent a month learning how to do laundry. And now every robot like it can too. Filmed in the home of Figure CEO, the robot is running completely autonomously on the company's Helix platform. Similar to a phone getting a software update, every Figure robot now inherits this skill, showcasing the scaling potential of AI automation and bringing us one step closer to a world without chores.
The next question is, but they can't repair themselves. Yes, they can. So they're going to be over here creating their own circuit boards faster than any human can. They're creating their own circuit board so that they can fix it. And then they're going to get another robot to pick up one of these circuit boards off the shelf, unscrew something inside that needs to be replaced. And this is automated. This is just going to happen all day long. So, oh, no, they can't repair themselves. So there's like this robot has already figured out a simple task. Oh, I'm low on battery. I don't need a human to change it. I'll just pull my own battery out and swap my own battery. They already have slow increments where robots are going to repair robots. Robots are going to charge themselves, swap out whatever parts, and see if they have a small battery in there, like a permanent battery. It's enough for them to possibly even repair themselves. Unscrew my arm, put a new arm on. If you don't think that they can do this by now, that's ignorance.
How to deal. It sounds made up, but the moon is doing things to the worms and the parasites in our body. What is going on within us when there is a full moon?
So your serotonin is running higher with a full moon, and they eat serotonin. And that's your happy hormone. It also helps regulate you from feeling out of control and crazy. So they start to dislodge themselves 3 days prior to the full moon. They move around your body in order to create new communities of their own, dropping eggs, but they're also on the serotonin river. So they're just literally able to kind of just flow wherever they want.
They've got a lazy river in there.
Even though I've heard it hundreds of times, it's still kind of mind-blowing to think that we all have parasites. And now to think that a full moon might affect them as well, it's pretty cringy.
That's a warplane. Oh, but that's an army plane. I'm about to get out of here. I knew I said I was supposed to go home. We gotta get out. We gotta get out of here.
It's not
It's
moving.
an army plane.
It's literally not moving.
They probably wait for
The muscle memory element of all of this. What is muscle memory and how is that sort of implicated with sleep?
So muscle memory, there's different types of memory and you need sleep. Think of sleep as hitting that save button, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to sleep after you have learned new information, learned a new skill so that you can consolidate those memories and be able to retrieve it later. So I always use an analogy of hitting that save button. After you learn new material or learn a new skill set, you need to go home and sleep so that it goes into long-term storage and that you can retrieve that the following day and subsequently. Without that sleep, we know that that groundwork for that new skill or that new memory is not going to be as strong. And so in the context of students who are trying to study for a test or an athlete that's trying to remember the playbook, you want to space those intervals that you're learning that material and have sleep that follows so that you strengthen those connections.
Orcas are way more disturbing than you actually thought and are the most feared animal in the ocean. But why? First off, orcas literally harvest sharks' livers. They'll target great whites, learning to flip them upside down, activating something called tonic immobility, temporarily paralyzing them, then ripping out the shark's liver, eating it, and leaving them behind. But it gets worse, as orcas torture seals for fun, playing a game where they'll take turns going up to seals and launching them with their tails, reaching up to 50 feet high, constantly throwing the seal over and over until it finally dies and eating it. Even more horrible, when penguins are resting on icebergs, the orcas will group up and swim together to create giant waves, knocking them off the ice, letting it crawl back up and knocking it down over and over, continuing to practice this hunting tactic until they've had enough training and eating it. But the most brutal thing they do is chase down and harass mother whales with their children. Since the mother is a threat, they use a tactic to tire them out instead, following the whales for hours until they get extremely exhausted. When the mother can't defend anymore, they'll take her baby and eat it alive in front of her.
Now there goes a side of Free Willy that you don't get to see on TV.
They look like tired travelers waiting for a flight, but take a closer look. These people are actually homeless.
Well, since right now I'm completely broke, so I'm not going anywhere, just hiding different parts of the airport.
Rebecca has lived here with her adult son and cat for almost a year. She says the airport is safer than the streets and overcrowded shelters.
I left Phoenix with $15,000. It goes quick.
The job and apartment she had lined up both fell through. Then she lost $3,500 in a rental scam. Broke, she landed at the airport, homeless. She uses the Wi-Fi at the airport to apply for jobs. She did get a job, ironically, here at the airport, doing what she did in Phoenix, pushing passengers in wheelchairs, but was fired a week later. She believes the company found out she was homeless. Since January, she has been living at a long-term hotel where she can now cook, shower, and finally sleep in a bed.
Hey, honestly, that's almost kind of genius, though.
This 17-year-old girl miraculously survived falling 10,000 feet from a plane, then surviving 11 days. Isn't 10,000 feet, isn't that 2 miles? No, what's a mile?
Yeah, it's about 2 miles.
2 miles?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you imagine falling 2 miles from a plane? She survived 11 days alone in the Peruvian Amazon rainforest. After the plane, she was struck by lightning.
Jesus, I didn't read that part.
The plane was struck by lightning and disintegrated in the air. Still strapped to her seat, fell from the sky and survived. Holy shit,
What did
man.
she hit, though? Did she hit like a mountain and slide? Like, the impact, I don't know how you survive that impact.
Oh, my God. She had a broken collarbone and a torn knee ligament. That's it.
Wow.
After the crash, she spent 11 days alone in the jungle before being rescued. She found a lumberjack camp. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. She became a respected scientist, specializing in mammalogy and focusing on bats.
Just a reminder that freshwater snails kill more people than elephants, hippos, lions, tigers, and crocodiles combined. And here's how they do it. Basically, they live in big open bodies of water, and attached to them is a whole bunch of parasitic worms. And when it comes time for these worms to reproduce, they detach from the snail and they go look for a new host to lay their eggs in. being you. And all you have to do is enter the body of water. They could get into your body simply by contact. And then they force their way to your blood vessels where they're going to lay eggs. And these eggs are really sharp, like barbed wire. That's because the entire point of these eggs are to make it back out of your body into the water so they could hatch. But sometimes it don't work like that. And they get lodged in your body, causing this condition. And that condition kills over 20,000 people a year. Gary's a monster.
Nah, I know you didn't see that coming. Don't lie.
Down. From about the age of 2 to 8, your brain exists in a higher trauma, their unresolved wounds.
And that was your quick minute of if you knew better, you definitely do better.
Why did no one tell me that Jesus tried to come back in 1996? On August 18th, 1996, in one of the most religious cities in Latin America, Father Alejandro Pezet found a consecrated host discarded near a candle after Mass. This wasn't a rare occurrence. In fact, it was somewhat to be expected. Out of so many people in Mass, obviously one or two would accidentally drop their consecrated host. But you see, in Catholic tradition, you can't just throw this little wafer away. This is considered holy, it is blessed. Therefore, the only way that Father Alejandro could discard of this consecrated host was to place it inside of water where it should pretty much immediately dissolve. So he pulls out a glass of water from this beautiful ornate golden box where they keep all the consecrated hosts, and almost ceremonially he takes this little white wafer and he places it in a glass of water. The wafer floated on top of the water for a few seconds, which was somewhat unusual, but Father Alejandro thinks nothing of this and he places the glass back into the golden box and locks it away. Little did he know that that consecrated host would turn out to be everything but normal. Now, a few days later, on August 26th, when the father opens this box to check if the host had fully dissolved, he would nearly jump out of his own skin. That glass was the furthest away from normal that you could get. It was so disturbing that he went and he called the Pope to take a look at what was in this glass. If anyone knew what was happening in that glass, it would definitely be him. So, Pope Francis takes one look and tells him, "You document everything that you are seeing and hearing, because what is happening right now is very likely a miracle. Investigate it and document everything." And that is exactly what he did. He then takes a sample of this glass and he sends it to the most renowned doctors and labs that he can just think of. Now, he told them absolutely nothing about what was in that glass or what he thought it was that they were examining, and he didn't even tell them that this was part of a consecrated host. A few days go by, all these different labs and doctors, they receive the samples. And when they see what's in that box, they're immediately concerned. And after they analyzed it, they were in disbelief at what this suggested. When they returned the samples and the tests to Father Alejandro, there was just no way that he could keep this a secret any longer. He was sure of it, just like Pope Francis had told him this was a miracle. Because you see, the week after Father Alejandro discarded that consecrated host, what he saw in the tabernacle was a terrifying looking circle that looked like it had living tissue growing all over it. And it looked like it was covered in blood, which is why he almost jumped out of his skin. And when those labs and doctors analyzed the samples of those DNAs, they were immediately concerned. After all the testing, the forensic, the histological, and the DNA analysis, every result pointed to the same thing. The tissue was from a living human heart, specifically from the left ventricle, which is the part that pumps blood into the entire body. It belonged to a man of Middle Eastern descent. It was actively metabolizing, and it had suffered severe trauma, which is why the doctors were concerned. This was the kind of trauma that you'd expect during a crucifixion. Now, to make things even crazier, the blood type they found on this sample was AB, which is the rarest blood type in the world. But what is even crazier is that this is the exact same blood type they found on the Shroud of Turin. The exact same findings as Eucharistic miracles from hundreds, even thousands of years ago. You see, the doctors, they weren't just testing a piece of bread. They were looking at a human heart. And if you believe anything that the church teaches, then this wasn't the heart of just anyone. This was the heart of Jesus Christ. Faith can and will move mountains. Knock, and a door will open. Seek, and ye shall find. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this type of content, consider following the page, and it's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Now, I think we all can agree I got some far out content on my channel, but this by far takes the cake, because this is pretty far out. I'm having a hard time even digesting that. I'm going to have to marinate on it. Definitely let me know what you think though.
Intuition test. What colour bottle cap do I have in my hand? What's your first intuitive sense and what's the first colour that comes to mind? Don't force it, don't stress. Focus on my hand and see if a colour comes to mind. I'm going to let you look without me talking. Just focus on my hand. Deeply connect with your intuition. Take a pause, relax. Don't stress, there's no pressure. What colour comes to mind? I'm going to show you in a second. Make sure you put your answer in the comments. And if you get it wrong, don't stress. This is a really good exercise to strengthen your intuition. Last time I'm going to ask, what colour bottle cap do I have in my hand? Be honest, be truthful, and let me know in the comments if you get it right. So I'm going to show you in 3, 2, 1. Blue. Let me know in the comments if you got it right. If you did, well done. If you didn't, don't stress. This is a really good exercise to strengthen your intuition. Before I go, my name's Adam. I'm a psychic medium. Don't forget to follow me, like this video, and comment. Let me know in the comments if you got this right.
The only thing I could think of is a red Coca-Cola bottle cap. That was it. All the way wrong. Let me know what you got. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. You stopped by and you watched another one with me, and I appreciate you for it. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already part of the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.